everyone, so I will just straight to the main point of what my topic it is, and of course it is about the first aid. First aid is actually the very first assistance for the casualty when an accident happens. Well, I could say accident could happen in anywhere, whether at home or anywhere it could be, whether to the children or to the adults. And it is of course first aid is so important before we organizing some project or events, so we need to make sure that we and our teamwork are really good at this point. Why? Well, I could say first aid objectives is to make sure the casualty being alive, to stop the casualty from being worse, to promote the recovery, to provide the comfort and reassurance to the casualty, and the last one is of course to familiar with the first aid kit equipment and tools. So what we should do when we saw an accident, the first one is don't be panic and stay calm, and you need to be relaxed to observe and assess the situation, whether it is safe or not for you to be in that situation or to save the casualty from that situation. And if you can doing this step, relax and observing the situation, carry out the DRSABC code, the medical code. The DRSABC code stand for D stand for the danger, and R stand for the response, S stand for the shout, A stand for the airways, B stand for the breathing, and C stand for the circulation. First code. What is the first code that we need to do? Danger. We need to keep ourselves from any danger, make sure that the passerby are also keep out from the danger, and don't hazard or injure yourself, and if you can, move the casualty from the hazard situation. Next, we move to the next code, response. Ask the casualty some question like are you okay, or where do you feel the pain, to them to make sure that they keep conscious. And if the casualty being semi-conscious or unconscious, speak them loudly like can you hear me in a loud tone. And if you saw any kind of sign like nodding or moving their finger, their hands or their leg from the casualty, that means the casualty being in a semi-conscious. And what should we do if the casualty being unconscious? The first thing we should do is tap them firmly on their shoulder. So our hand need to be like this and tap them firmly on their shoulders. If the children, we need to gather them, whether at their face or their waist part or anywhere that could be. If the casualty are not giving any kind of response, we move to the next code as shout. Shout means we shout to ask some help from the others. Next, A, airways. Airways here means the mouth and the nose. The way we need to check the casualty airways is we need to put our two fingers like this at their chin and the other hands at their forehead. So we need to open it slowly and check whether it is something in their mouth or nose. So we need to remove it to make sure that the casualty are breathing so well. It's a good thing if you have the first aid kit with you, so you could use the butter bite to remove something in their nose. And if you don't have it, you could use your finger to make sure you wash it first, or you also could use the tissue to wipe it and start removing anything from their nose. Next, breathing. This is the most important thing to check whether the casualty are being alive or not. We need to check their chest movement. If their chest movement is up and down, that means the casualty is still alive. If you could not see any kind of movement, their chest movement, you could move the other way, like put your ears to their nose, and if you could feel the warm breath, that means the casualty is still be alive. And the last one is circulation, that means CPR. If we are not really good in CPR, just ask someone to call the ambulance. So what is in the first aid kit? The first one is the very basic one is first aid manual. This manual will guide us to treat the wound or any common head issue. The next one is tweezer. Tweezer used to remove any kind of debris such as glass or dirt from our wound. Next, we have the alcohol swab that is used to clean the infected or our wounded area before the antibiotic ointment and the bandage are placed on the area. Next, we have the antibiotic ointment that will help the proper healing of the wound. Then we have the bandage, and we have the pain reliever. Each first aid kit should include the pain reliever. Last one is 10 coat pack. That is to prevent swelling, and we already know that many healthcare professionals recommend icing and injury. That's all from me. Thank you.